Welcome in again, everybody, to the Lucky Shots podcast. This is the Lucky Bets podcast, and we finally got Dylan back.
Yes.
Been a few weeks. We had a lot going on with Thanksgiving, all that kind of stuff. But he's finally back, and Dylan, this is episode number 10 of us getting together.
Hey, good to be back, Ricky. Yeah, we had Thanksgiving and then the week after scheduling conflicts, but we're back here for you for the NFL Sunday, episode number 10. Yeah, we've been mostly 500, which is lucky for you here. I know personally I've not been doing so great on the other thing, but the dedicated analysis here, we've been doing strong, so let's keep it going.
Yeah, and in my personal picks, I've got a couple of weeks now, 10 wins both weeks. So finally on track, things are starting to level out.
Love it.
That's been irritating the hell out of me that hasn't been working out. But hey, it's getting back on track.
Little added bonus for you too. I'm going to 2 NFL games this weekend, which is crazy. Tonight, Twin Cities. I'll be boots on the ground for Steelers Vikings. Kind of like the Vikings in Apple. We'll get into some analysis here shortly. And then I'll be in Cincinnati this weekend. First time checking out the jungle. So kind of a weird, spontaneous 2 NFL weekend for me, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we'll have to definitely get your thoughts on your experiences at both places.
Of course.
I would love to go to a game in Minneapolis.
Come on out, dude. You've got a spot in my house. It is one of the coolest atmospheres. Seriously, one of the coolest atmospheres I've ever been a part of, and a very cool, brilliant stadium.
I drove by the stadium once and I was like, damn, I got to go in there sometime.
Yeah. My buddy lives right by it, which is awesome. So that's the plan. We kind of walk over the stadium tonight.
All righty. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and start jumping into things.
Yes.
Some real close lines this week. You got that San Francisco Cincinnati game as of yesterday, probably changed a little today. Who knows? San Francisco, they're the favorites, minus 125. That would put the Bengals at plus 105, with the spread at 1.5, over under at 48.5. What do we kind of think about that game?
You know, I would love to say the Bengals, but the NFL is 1 week complete opposite the next week. The Chargers and Bengals are the Spider-Man meme looking at each other. Hey, we've got a ton of talent. We're good. Some weeks we show up, some weeks we don't. I'm worried this is a week that the Bengals don't show up because the 49ers, of course, coming off their embarrassing performance. Well, it's honestly a matter of 2 teams coming off. The Chargers had one of their great games, right? Bengals, we've seen them do that to good teams in their division, outside their division. Something about Shanahan, who we've talked about. I'm not the biggest believer in Shanahan. Garoppolo was terrible against Seattle. You lost to the Seahawks. I know that's a divisional game in Seattle. But that's Russell Wilson, who can't even throw, pins in his middle finger. He's not the same guy since the injury, ain't coming back. I would like to say the Bengals in this one because I'm going to be there. But, it is one of those close lines where I could see either or happening, either team bouncing back.
Yeah. And, I'll get to my picks a little later, but that one it's definitely a tough one. I think San Francisco, honestly, had the Seahawks not done their little fake punt early in the game.
That was crazy.
Touchdown.
But how do you fall for that? And then it's just, he had 70 yards clear to the end zone.
Who thinks somebody's going to run a fake punt towards the beginning of the game? That's
it was crafty
ballsy on their part. But, I think that game could have turned out different had that momentum shift not been that early in the game. I don't know. I guess we'll see. And then the Baltimore-Cleveland game, this was a close game the first time they played. Cleveland actually has the favorite here, minus 135, Baltimore plus 115, 2.5 point spread, 42 over under. So that's going to be a good one too. I honestly don't know. Baltimore's been playing like dog shit and still winning. So who knows?
It's, we're getting a couple of these games now where I think Washington and Dallas play each other like twice in the next 3 weeks. Cleveland, Ravens, like it's divisional battles now. This game screams trap to me. You've got the Ravens coming off I didn't even watch this game. It was so bad. 16-10, remember, on Sunday Night Football. So I think, because you're looking at this and you're like, wait a second, Baker can't throw. I know sometimes they show up. I think it's a case of they're going to split the season series. You're looking at Ravens plus 2.5. You're like, I think they might be the better team, but there's a reason Vegas is favored Cleveland at home. I think they're somehow going to squeak it out by a field goal. It's either going to be a Ravens coast-to-coast victory, or you're going to be shocked and the Browns end up winning by, a touchdown or two.
Well, fun fact, the Browns in the last game did not have their running back duo. This week they should have that running back duo. So that
and coming off a bye.
Yeah. Let's get into some like major lines. You got the Chicago Bears and the Packers. It's a minus 700 game for the Packers, a spread of 12.5, but an over-under of only 43, which the Packers in the under normally works.
Yep. Certainly with the Bears too. I believe Justin Fields is coming back. I am actually on this under 43. This line has moved already 3.5 points since the opener. NFL is the one sport where you can see lines 2 weeks in advance. Like, the Falcons haven't even played this week. You could see what they're going to potentially be week 15 coming up against. I'm seeing them initially as a 7.5 point dog at San Fran next week, but that can change. So, so since that line came out, it has moved. People are seeing, like your thoughts, Green Bay, probably going to be some crap weather, or at least cold. Fields coming back off of injury. Who knows? Fields or Dalton, neither. The weird thing is about the Bears too, is this is so many points, and the over under, you can kind of look at 40. It's like, how many points are going to be scored? If this is really under, it's going to be possibly one score, possibly two score, 10 points. You get a Bears cover. Bears got blown out. Rodgers, remember, discount, double check. I still own you in Chicago. I think that comes back to bite them in the fact that it's going to be a little bit closer.
It definitely could be. Packers have had two of their best games though the past couple weeks offensively. Going out,
they're a cover machine too.
But
they're like one of the best teams.
Yeah, but they also had to score a lot of points in those games to win because of the teams that they were playing. So, kind of a better version of the Vikings playing to the level of their opponent a little bit. Yeah, they don't go out and blow you out, but they're still going to win. And then you got the Raiders and the Chiefs. Chiefs sitting at minus 450, spread of 9.5, over under 48. They blew them out and scored 41 points of their own in the last game that they played. Do we see anything different happening here?
Chiefs, no one's talking about them. We all wanted to crown Stephen A when he was saying the Chiefs are done way back when, but now it's just crickets that they are ripping off, all these wins in a row, 8-4 now. They're basically controlling the division. Only thing I see different, the line, the point spread is 10. Again, Kansas City blew them out and it went over. I'm going to the under on this one because the Chiefs defense, I think, has been really the story this year. Is like, hey, they've put up some good performances. We used to think they were Swiss cheese, but they've actually locked down a little bit. Raiders, you don't know what you're going to get on a weekly basis. I think the public is all over the Raiders in this one. Look, the Raiders have covered only one of their last 5 games. Chiefs, on the other hand, have gone 3 of their last 5, and they've beaten some good teams in the process. Dallas, they just walked all over Denver. They beat Green Bay, which is a good defense, but that was with Jordan Love. I might stay away from the points, but I think this goes under because it's at 48. Vegas public expecting another shootout, and let's see if maybe it's a little bit more defensive than we might think.
For sure. All right, so go ahead and give us a few of your picks for this week, and I'll sprinkle a couple of mine in there for you.
Sure. I'll stick with the over-unders here. I just got 2 more in addition to my Kansas City and Green Bay under. I am a little bit more of an under guy. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's regardless of sport, there's just it's a little bit more safe for me, as opposed, I don't know what it is. A lot of people don't usually like unders, but I'm one of those contrarians. So let's see. I am heading to Tennessee coming off the bye. They are back in action. They've got Jacksonville. I thought we didn't talk about this because we were off last week, but I thought Jacksonville was going to have a spot against the Rams. Rams go in, blow them out. OBJ curse is apparently over, right? They get their first win with him. How about Trevor Lawrence kind of stepping up? Did you see this headline? Stepping up to Urban Meyer. Hey, what the hell are we doing? We got to get James Robinson on the field. Right. Something's going on there. I don't know if I could back a team like that anymore, but I do like them to not score a bunch. This line has moved 8 points. Where's Tennessee going to get their offense? So I think it's going to be under 43.5 there. And then another one of those large spreads that I was on thinking too many points last week was Houston. And yikes. I mean, I don't think I'll ever do that ever again. That was over before it even started. Going off of our Seattle thing, I don't think Seattle's going to be able, I think Russell Wilson's going to struggle coming off a good win, now going to a sleepy game at Houston. This line too, moving like crazy, 7.5 points. So I'm going under 41.
All right. Well, some of mine, I'm going to go Cincinnati over the Niners. I'll take that small money line there where, they're the dogs.
Sure.
And I'll take the over in that game. I think both of these offenses, hopefully San Francisco has Debo back. You got the Bengals, who Jamar Chase is always a weapon, but now T. Higgins starting to really get involved. Joe Mixon really picking it up. Both teams have a lot of offensive weapons. I don't necessarily believe in their defenses to stop anybody. So 48.5, I think it could pretty easily go over that. We could have a fun shootout game with those two.
I would love that line moving towards your favor as well. It's up 2.5 points. It's open.
There we go. So then I'm going to go Baltimore over Cleveland. They are the dog. They are the better team, in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. Going to sit on the under. Neither team has played very well the past few weeks. So I think points will be very limited in that game as well. Going to go ahead and go Arizona over the Rams. That's another pretty close game. Cardinals only a -135, and I'm going to take the over as well in that game. It's two offenses that can score a lot of points. You just saw Arizona in a game where there shouldn't have been a lot of offense. It was rainy, snowy, cold. They still scored 33 points.
Yeah,
and you got the Rams, who have an offense that can do the same, and it's in Arizona. So either place, it's not going to be shitty weather. So I'll take that. And then Tampa Bay over Buffalo. Tampa Bay -170, and I'm going to go the over in that one. I'm going to shoot for a lot of overs this week.
Yeah.
Both teams have really good offenses. The over here is kind of scary because they both have decent defenses as well.
Right.
But you do have Tom Brady, who can throw 4 or 5 touchdowns at any point. Josh Allen, who can do the same.
Yep.
So that's what I'm going to go with for that one as well.
This could be a Super Bowl preview. I've been a little bit disappointed in what the Bills have done lately. I mean, that crazy game on Monday night where it was that was the easiest over of the life, of your life, or excuse me, under of your life because of the wind in Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo here. I already hate it, but I'm just taking the points. Coming off a disappointing loss at home, looks like the division's coming out of your reach, but you still got to assert yourselves, right? Tampa Bay gives up one of these games. Tom Brady's fine. He doesn't have to go undefeated into the Super Bowl. The only time he did that, he lost in the Super Bowl. Look at last year. He was cool running through all road games en route to the weird home game for the Super Bowl. Tampa's fine. They got an easy schedule, easily the worst division in football right now, the NFC South. I think Buffalo's going to at least keep it close. I'll like playing the hook there, +3.5. I wouldn't be shocked if the Cardinals blew out the Rams. I'm kind of just going with that thing with Rams +2. They already lost to the Cardinals way back when. Let's see if they get one here in Arizona. I am taking the Bears with the points +12, just too many points for me. Here's a team I've loved over the last couple of weeks. I thought we've talked about this when they beat Tampa Bay. I thought it was the craziest thing I've seen in football in the last 5 or 10 years. Now it turns out they're legit. Defense could have won a Super Bowl last year. Wait a second. What are we doing? This team stinks. Now they're good again. They're kind of showing like, hey, they've got the Cowboys 2 of the next 3 weeks. I like the football team here. Why not? Cowboys were everyone's darlings going on the beginning of the season, but actually over their last couple of games, the only 2 teams they have beaten over the last 5 games, the Saints and the Falcons.
Yeah.
Tough. Football team, they take out Raiders on the road. Carolina, who's trash, but Seattle, but that Tampa Bay, like, I don't think it's a fluke anymore. I was on them last week. I'm going to keep it going. Washington +4 at home.
I've got a bold prediction about that. NFC, what would it be? East.
Yeah.
Cowboys are falling out. They're not going to the playoffs at all.
Okay.
They have the whole NFC East now. They've got 2 games against Washington, who's hot. I think Washington could win both of those games. I think, they also have the Eagles. The Cowboys do. That could be a game that they lose. They could find themselves in a tough situation and falling out. And we could see the football team go ahead and win that division.
Heineke's a gamer, man. I loved watching him this past weekend, kind of just grind out that victory against the Raiders. I would say that's the team to watch out for, definitely in the East. I like your thinking there. Hold your nose. It's the Falcons this week. Carolina stinks. We lost to them. That was at home. No one expects us to win again. I was on them against the Bucks. Of course, we didn't cover. Falcons are going to beat Carolina. I don't like Carolina. What are they doing? They fired Joe Brady. Was really he the problem because you decided that you wanted Sam Darnold? You decided, talking about Matt Rule, that you wanted PJ Walker and then Cam again. Let's go Falcons. Arthur Smith's actually done a nice job with a pretty ass roster. It's been funny. And then this will come out to this will be broadcast on Friday. So let's see if this play will just be right or wrong. Boots on the ground tonight. Pittsburgh beats Baltimore. Letdown spot here after the Vikings lose to the winless Lions. Coming home. Zimmer somehow still has a job. This place is going to be nuts tonight. The fan base is so complacent. Vikings fans, get a clue. Your coach sucks, but you're still going to be behind them. Vikings are going to win. I want to say a blowout, but all they play is 1-score games. So I've got Vikings by 6 tonight.
There you go. I don't mind it. All right, let's get a few prop bets in here. We're going to start with Patrick Mahomes. Is he going to have more or less than 275 against the Raiders? Last game he played against the Raiders, 406 and 5 touchdowns in week 10. So seems like a pretty easy spot to go, yeah, he'll get more, but are the Raiders going to, change their game plan a bit? Are the Chiefs going to be like, let's hold it back. Let's just beat them, not do anything fancy. I'm still going to take more there. I'm going to take the over of 275.5. I think he at least gets in the 300s.
Yeah, I was curious to see where you would go because I would make it interesting. I'd go under, just, see if it's more of a defensive battle. Maybe he goes a little bit less, but Mahomes is I don't think he's really creeping up on the radar yet as MVP, but keep an eye out if he all of a sudden is 12-4 again.
Right. Yeah. If they sit here and win the next 5 and then go into the playoffs winning 10 in a row, holy shit.
It's wide open. It's a wide open race right now, which is awesome.
Let's go with Taysom Hill, more or less than 20.5 fantasy points against the Jets. Keep in mind, last week he had 20.6 and threw 4 interceptions and still had 20 points. So going against the Jets, that seems pretty safe, right?
That's the analysis right there. I'm going over. I streamed them last week in my fantasy league, and I looked at it. I was like, I checked my fantasy league first, not watching the game. I was like, hey, damn, all right, Hill showed out. He got his projection, 20 plus points. And I was like, I'm checking the box score. I was like, wait, what? 4 picks? Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's against the Jets. He's gonna, even if he does throw another couple of picks, which I don't think he will, he's gonna get his money on the ground, maybe score a rushing touchdown, get 6 points there. I'm going over.
Yeah, that dual threat of him. Honestly, the Saints should have just gone with him for most of the year. I don't know how it would have turned out football wise, but he puts a different fold in your offense,
Agree. Yeah, I would definitely say Jameis was fine, but he's inconsistent. And then why were we starting Trevor Siemian? That's where I would have put Hill. I think he was injured, so that's why they held off. And I think he still is a little bit banged up going into this week. But yeah, I'm with you. He's versatile. I don't know if I would have given him that much money that the Saints did, but hey, we'll see.
And then we're going to go with Jimmy G or Teddy Bridgewater. Jimmy G, he's going against Cincinnati. Teddy, he's going against Detroit. Who's going to have more fantasy points? And Garoppolo gets a slight bump. Garoppolo is the one that gets a slight bump of half a point.
Yeah.
So not a big difference.
Yeah, give me the dog then. Give me Teddy Two Shoes against Detroit. I think I'm on the Broncos. I'm still one of 7 left in my survivor pool. I think the Broncos are my pick there to beat the Lions coming off their big win. 10 points. The Broncos is a 10-point favorite. What the hell is going on there? I mean, the Lions have actually shockingly covered 3/4 of their games this year. They're like one of the profitable teams in the NFL because they get so many points. I think Denver's going to roll. In terms of, I think Teddy has a good game. Jimmy G, I think, he's going to throw a couple of picks. He might get hounded by this Bengals defense. I'm excited to see if the jungle gets loud this weekend.
Right. Yeah, I would have to take Teddy there as well, just because there is a slight chance that Jimmy throws a few interceptions. He gets sacked. Yeah. He gets pressured. I don't see that happening from Detroit's side defensively. Yep. So I just think it'll be a cleaner game per Bridgewater than it will Jimmy G. But I mean,
and he's a completion percentage guy. He's not going to take the chances that Garoppolo likes to do and make stupid mistakes.
Yeah. And then the final one, this one's going to be a little fun. Stephon Diggs or George Kittle, who's going to have more receptions? Kittle gets a 1.5 point bump. So he gets an extra reception and a half. I don't know how you get half a reception. But for line purposes, he gets a reception and a half.
Kittle's an animal. I mean, he's on a tear right now since coming back from injury. He terrorized Seattle. I'll go Diggs because I think the Bills are going to have a big performance, hopefully, in my thinking, betting wise, against the Bucs. Sean Murphy Bunting, I believe his name is right. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but he's been battered, injured. For the Buccaneers. He's come back. He's looked good, but let's see if Diggs can maybe move around the field and do something for the Bills who kind of need a win.
Yeah. My only problem, I would go Kittle, but there's a chance Debo's back. But then again, look at Debo's last 2 games before he got hurt. I think he had 2 catches and the rest of the work he got was on the ground, actually.
Yeah, right. He's a great running back.
So, I want to go Diggs because that's going to be a throw the football game between those 2 teams. But after what I saw from Kittle last week, damn, this one to me is very tough.
Yeah.
Diggs burnt me last week, so I'm not going with him. I'm going to go with George Kittle.
Right.
He had 8 catches. He was the top fantasy scorer of everybody in the league last week. So that's who I'm going to go with this week. I guess we got one more. Antonio Gibson, more or less 70 yards and 70 and a half rushing yards against Dallas. I'm taking that. 100%.
Yeah, it's Gibson season. I was a fan of his last year. He's been injured this year, but now that McKissick's banged up, he's the guy.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and then we'll close out with just a few budget DFS players. Who are guys at each position that they're cheap and you could get a good deal on them and they could give you a lot of points. I'll start out with the quarterback position, Taysom Hill. 100%.
That's who I had. Boom. He's 5,600. We're going to get 20 points out of them. I hope he's playing because I think that's the easy call there to that just screams value from the quarterback position at 5,600.
Exactly. Who's your running back?
You go first. Sorry.
Okay. I've got Kareem Hunt. 11.6 is his projection against Baltimore, who is 7th. He's also 5,600. I kind of talked earlier. Cleveland's got their tandem now, and it could make it a completely different game. And, Hunt, if you can get him for that cheap, he goes out and gets a few catches and a touchdown, which isn't out of the ordinary for him. It could be a good game for you.
I'll give you 2. One, Gibson, we just talked about. 6,000. That's pretty solid. We expect him to have a good day. James Robinson. Is he gonna are they gonna force it to him now? He's only 5,800. He's been banged up the last 3 weeks, but hopefully Trevor Lawrence's words maybe give us some value fantasy wise.
And I got one more for you then. Devonta Williams.
Yep.
I've been harping. This guy is 1 touchdown away. He's 1 small thing away from getting a big game, and he's had 2 back-to-back 20-point games. He's only 5,900. So
Gordon was out last week. Is he back this week? Perhaps. Was that worry you a little bit?
Maybe a little, but the first week where Javonte got 20,
right?
You had Gordon in there very limited amount. And I think even if Gordon's back this week, it's still going to be that limited amount. So it's going to be more Javonte. And again, this is a game where he should score a touchdown, maybe even 2. So I feel very confident in that one as well. Wide receiver, I'm going to stick on the Broncos because they're playing Detroit. And okay, wide receiver, which one do you think I'm going to pick? Take a guess.
You're staying with the Broncos?
Yeah.
It's your boy, Tim Patrick.
Yes, sir. He's only 4,800. We do have a lot of receivers. Judy is probably the most talented. You got Sutton, who could be a stud. But Tim Patrick goes out there. He's going to get 1 touchdown at least this week. That's just the way things roll in this wide receiver room. Teddy will look for him. Could only be like 2-3 catches, but if one of them's a touchdown, touchdowns are very valuable.
Right. This is tough. I want to go Hunter Renfrow just because he's the target machine, 6,100 going against Kansas City. You expect the Raiders to have to throw into it to keep pace. Only other guy I was kind of looking at is Mike Evans, but you're kind of banking on a touchdown there against a decent secondary in the Bills.
Yeah, for sure. And then at the tight end position, I'm going way, way down the line here. Donald Parham Jr. He's only projected 5.1. And in case anybody doesn't know, he plays for the Chargers. Going up against the Giants, 2,800, very low. But Keenan Allen could be out and Mike Williams could be out. That leaves you with backup wide receivers and the 3 tight ends that somehow one of them gets a touchdown every week. So I'm going to bank on Parham there. He's the cheapest option and could get a touchdown.
It's interesting you bring that up. Chargers a 10-point favorite against the Giants, and I think the Giants might start Jake Fromm. Am I seeing that correctly? The Georgia quarterback? Yeah, I mean, why not throw him instead of tall neck Mike Glennon out there? So I guess I'll stick in that game. I'll go Evan Ingram. He's got a little bit more of a rapport with Glennon, but let's see if Fromm's just going to be throwing anyone open if this is his first career start. 3,500. Tight end's just been such a freaking dartboard this year. Watch it. Surprise Giants win perhaps behind Jake Fromm, 10-point favorites. I don't know. I'll go Ingram, no tight end.
Quarterback controversy if that happens.
Yeah, DJ, watch out.
All right. Well, that's all I've got. You got anything else for us today, Dylan?
No, good to be back, Ricky. Hope to bring you some content next week too for my travels here amidst the NFL this week.
Hell yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Get some video. Maybe we'll plop that on top of our faces while we talk. Who knows? All right, but that is it for this week of the Lucky Bets podcast. Thank Dylan for being back. Episode number 10, I believe. Overall, this is episode 51 of my season. So it's very nice, very nice. But we'll see you next week. Good luck on your picks. Go make some money.